I will call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. Good morning. My name is Maricel Hernandez. I'm the chair, and with me today is Commissioner June Brown
Present.
and Commissioner William Cressy.
Also present.
Next item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda. And I would propose we skip over the next item, the approval of the minutes, until next meeting. That will bring us to the Executive Director's report. Mr. Holliday.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Cressy. Well, early voting in our super site at 191 North Clark and on the 6th floor here at 69 West Washington will open on Thursday, January 26th. Voting hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Vote by mail ballots began to hit the mail on last Thursday, the 19th. We will also place our drop box in front of 69 West Washington sometime during today. Pre-trial detainee voting will begin on Saturday, February the 11th and continue on Saturday, February 18th and Sunday, February 19th. Hours of voting 9 to 5. And on February 13th, the early voting sites in all 50 wards will open. All signage has been printed and posted. I attended the quarterly meeting of the Illinois Infrastructure, ISAC. There we had briefings on cybersecurity threats for the quarter and spoke on cybersecurity defense in depth. On February 7th, we will be getting a visit from the Illinois State Board of Election Grant Program Manager. This visit is due to the federal funds spent from the CARES Act and Security Grant. They just need to review, photograph, and document those items which the grant was used for. Our finance manager, Kimberly Carrillo Walker, will facilitate that once they're here. All polling place locations will be finalized by January 30th. The vast majority will remain the same. All of the new ballot marking pens have been delivered to the warehouse. I used one to mark my ballot, and it worked with no issues. So ends my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions?
Yes. Charles, just to clarify a few things. You said the drop box at 69 West Washington in front of our headquarters building will be installed. Was that later today?
Yes.
And will it be will it be unlocked and ballots collected starting today?
Yes.
Okay. And then again, there'll be drop boxes in all of the ward early voting sites when those open, and those will be accessible when the early voting sites open, correct?
Yes, and as well as one at 191 at our super site once it opens on Thursday.
Okay, thank you. That was that was my third question. You're reading my mind, Charles.
All right.
Okay, thank you much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. And now we'll hear from our Assistant Executive Director, Sandra Spera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioner Cressy, Commissioner Brown.
Good morning.
As Charles mentioned, early voting at the super site in 69 West Washington will open this Thursday, January 26th. The early voting sites at the wards will open February 13th. Logic and accuracy of early voting equipment started yesterday and should be completed today. Monday, January 30th, we will conduct a mock election at the warehouse. The recruitment of judges of election as of this morning are 4,790 active and assigned. Of that number, 573 are high school students. In-person training started January 15th, and as of Saturday, January 21st, a total of 664 have completed the in-person training, which includes 104 high school students. The election coordinators total is 1,578, which is pending assignments until the training is completed. In-person training for election coordinators starts January 27th. As of this morning, the total number of vote-by-mail applications is 178,147, of which 119,525 are permanent roster voters, And the regular civilian vote by mail applications is 55,172. As Charles mentioned, the mailing of the vote by mail ballots started at the end of last week. The last day to register to vote is January 31st. Grace period registration and voting starts Wednesday, February 1st. A drop box for the voters to return their vote by mail will be located in the front building of 69 West Washington as of today. And I did confirm it is downstairs and available. And the 6th floor, and also available on our 6th floor. Also, a drop box will be available at the super site starting January 26th. At the warehouse, logic and accuracy of the voting equipment at the precinct level will start February 2nd. And finally, the election central space reservation has been submitted, and now we are staffing is being made now.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. I have a couple of questions. What's our goal in terms of judges of election?
6,500.
Okay. And what is that the basic number we need for just staff?
Just have 5 per precinct, correct?
Okay. Okay. And how are we getting the word out?
Max has been actively working with community services. Max.
Okay.
Yeah, we have gotten out our flyer. We have shared that with different community organizations, put it on our social media. But we've also invested some advertising this time around, specifically with bilingual election judges. So we will have advertising running over the next 2 weeks for bilingual judges for Spanish, for Hindi, Chinese, Korean, Tagalog, and Polish.
Okay. Thank you. And Sandra, just going back to you for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say when is the deadline by which you can register to vote by mail online?
Oh, so that is, I didn't mention that date, but it is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Max, I think it's February 12th, the online, the POVA?
Yeah, paper is the 31st. Online will be February 12th, that Sunday at 11:59. Then the online system will be down, but that heads into same-day registration at all of our 50 ward sites. So starting the 13th, when all of those are open, we will promote people can still register to vote, change their information, change their name at any of the 50 early voting sites open that Monday.
Okay, thank you. Do the commissioners have any other questions?
I don't.
Okay.
You answered all my questions just now, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll hear from Max again, our Public Information Director.
Thank you, Chair. A few updates ahead of a busy month for us, but as the Executive Director mentioned, we're kicking off early voting downtown at our 2 sites this week. We'll be holding a press conference on Thursday with the Chair at the Super Site at 10 a.m. As the Executive Director mentioned too, we have some extra booths on the 6th floor here at 69 West Washington too, given the popularity that we saw of early voting here at our board offices. So we have extra capacity heading into this week. A month of advertising has been planned for early voting. So that will start kicking off from January 28th and on, giving us a full month with digital advertising, as well as many print ads with our community publications, as well as many of our other language publications. Once we do have the final polling place list, we are finalizing up the household mailer that will go out to the 1.1 million households. That's the mailer that comes with people's information on still applying to vote by mail, their closest early voting sites and early voting information, as well as their assigned precinct polling place for Election Day. Our vendor this time is Cardinal Color. Once we have that finalized by this end of the month, they just need a 2-week turnaround. So we do expect the mailer will hit people's mailboxes right at the beginning of ward early voting around February 13th or 14th. We'll continue to give updates as that is moving forward. And I believe a board meeting a few meetings ago, we had discussed the possibility of the board working on a forum for the police district councils, at least to share information. Well, it turns out the community came to us instead. So I will now actually be joining a panel with the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, along with many other community organizations who are planning this. So I will put together a list of those community groups that are putting this event together. But there will be a virtual event, a panel event on February 6th that we will share more information. I am also going to be taping a podcast with their deputy director over at the Community Commission, Damon Smith. So we'll continue to get the word out. A lot of community organizations have done a lot of great work in providing additional information on these new police district councils. They have been holding their own forums. They've been pushing more information out. Be happy to continue to share that on social media, since this is the first time that voters will be interacting with this office. It's been truly lovely to see so many different community groups and members help get the info out and put together these events. So again, thank you to Betty, thank you to Helene, thank you to everybody else not on this call that is doing that great work too.
Okay. Thank you, Max. Any questions of Max? If not, we will proceed with old business infrastructure projects and changes in election administration. Any updates?
None, Madam Chair.
And then what's the status of our voting equipment, including electronic poll books?
As Assistant Director Esper mentioned, that equipment is being pre-latted and being prepared for the February election. The equipment is already prepared for the super site, and the equipment for the early voting sites and the wards, that's being prepped as well.
Okay, great. Mr. Lasker, anything new on the legislation front?
Madam Chair, I reported during our last meeting on that omnibus bill, and there's been no other action since. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now we'll proceed to new business. And the first item on the agenda is the proposed disposal of the March 2018 primary election materials. Mr. Lasker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did have a litigation hold on the 2018 primary election materials. We had a successful judgment in the Northern District of Illinois that was affirmed by the 7th Circuit on August 9th. And we're now past all the deadlines that are possible for seeking further court action. So the warehouse needs the space, and we would appreciate the resolution to lift the litigation hold and to authorize disposal of those election materials pursuant to state and federal law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions? If not, is there a motion to adopt a resolution finding that there is no longer any pending nor reasonable anticipated litigation in relation to the 2018 general primary election, lifting the litigation hold related to that election, and authorizing the disposal of election records and materials from that election pursuant to state and federal laws?
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Brown.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is a proposed contract with Marquee Events Rental for the rental of tables and chairs for the February and April elections. Is this Amanda?
Yes, good morning, Chairwoman and fellow commissioners.
Good morning.
The purchasing department issued a small bid for furniture rentals, and we received 2 bids. Marquee Event Rentals was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The board has worked with Marquee Event Rental in the past, and therefore is confident that Marquee can have the capacity to secure the quantity of tables and chairs for the 2023 municipal and general elections.
Okay.
Purchasing is recommending a contract be awarded to Marquee Event Rentals for 2023 elections in the dollar amount not to exceed $194,198.
Okay. Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Marquee Event Rentals for the rental and cartage of tables and chairs with a term beginning today, January 24th, 2023, and continuing through completion of all the work necessary in relation to the 2023 elections with a total cost not to exceed $194,198.
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of a contract extension with Aero Messenger Service for messenger and driver services for the upcoming 2023 elections. Amanda?
Yes, the Chicago Board of Elections is partnering with Aero Messenger Services for their messenger and driver services. We are going to be piggybacking off of the city's contract, which is going to be renewed. And we would like to recommend a contract be extended to Aero Messenger Service for the 2023 elections in the amount not to exceed $1 million.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners have any questions?
We have used Arrow many times, and their service has always been good. And I'm glad that we will continue working with them.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve a contract for messenger and driver services with Aero Messenger Services, Inc. as a subcontract under City of Chicago contract number 26588 with a value not to exceed $1 million over the term of the contract, which shall run from today, January 24th, 2023 through January 23rd, 2024.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Brown.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
And Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a proposed one-year extension to the professional services agreement with Maritza Buendia for Spanish language services. Who is speaking to this?
I could address it, or Mr. Holliday. Sorry.
Well, Madam Chair, this is originally was approved by the board on January 25th. So she's given her service for our Spanish translations. So we ask that this be approved.
Is this for the same rate as in the last contract?
Yes.
Okay. And the same terms, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Do the commissioners have any questions?
Our experiences with this person in the contract have been favorable?
Yes, they have.
Okay. Thank you.
If there are no further questions, is there a motion to approve a one-year extension to the board's professional services agreement with Maritza Buendida for Spanish language translation and community liaison services at a rate of $50 per hour, not to exceed $100,000 over the one-year term of this agreement, which shall run from January 25, 2023 through January 24, 2024. And I apologize, it's Maritza Buendia. Is there a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
And seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Lastly is the proposed bid award and contract to Imaging Office Systems. Who can speak to this? Is this Amanda?
Yes, thank you. The purchasing department issued a request for proposal, RFP, for microfiche and microfilm library conversion. These files have highly sensitive information that is confidential for our voters. And due to years of deterioration, some of these archival records require image quality restoration from their original order and quality to be converted into a digital format. The RFP that was issued was evaluated by an evaluation team and reviewed a total of 3 proposals. Out of the 3 proposals, Imaging Office Systems, Inc. was the most overall qualified and most cost-effective company to provide restoration services for the board. Purchasing is recommending Image Officing Systems, Inc. to be awarded a contract in the dollar amount not to exceed $187,571.78.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, if I can speak to this as well, the conversion of the microfilm and microfiche is something that we have been trying to get done for a while. And now the opportunity has come that we found a number of vendors and we've chosen one to fulfill this for us.
Okay. Thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions?
I'd just like to say, having run a microfilming company back in the day that my family owned, this is a very good contract, and for the amount of work that's being done, the cost is very good as well. So I compliment our people on getting this this proposal.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve a bid award and to authorize the executive director to execute a contract with Imaging Office Systems, Inc. for microfiche and microfilm library conversions with a term beginning today, January 24th, 2023, and continuing through November 20th, 2023, with a total cost not to exceed $187,571.78.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Brown.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is our legal report. Mr. Lasker?
Madam Chair, we are working on filing records and making appearances in 7 of our electoral board cases that are up on judicial review. Tomorrow is the deadline for the last 2 of the cases that were ruled upon last week's Friday. So that's what we're doing in addition to recruiting all the attorneys for our election central on election day and getting ready for the big day.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Lasker, those cases up on judicial review, are they they're aldermanic cases and police board cases, but no citywide mayoral cases? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Or treasurer or clerk. Okay, so
Correct.
So at least for most of the city, we shouldn't have any problem proceeding with early voting, and hopefully everything will be resolved quickly.
That's correct. And we will, I'm hoping that all of this will be done by the time we go citywide on the early voting, but at the super site, everybody still does get a chance to vote in every ward and every police district, even while these cases are pending.
So we can begin printing ballots for most of the city at this point, or in the near future, and just hold off on these remaining few wards or police districts as need be so. Okay, thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we have no financial report today. Next is public comment. Do we have public comment?
Yes, ma'am. We have Mr. Joe Locascio has requested to make public comment.
Point of order,
Okay.
Madam Chair, or Trish, please remind that there's a time limit for public comment under our standing rules.
No, thank you. There is a 5-minute limit for public comments, Mr. Locascio.
Mr.
Thank you.
Ocasio, can you just identify yourself and if you're from an organization or?
Yes, my name is Joey Locascio, and I'm currently candidate Johnny Logalbo's campaign manager for mayor. He's running for mayor. He's a candidate.
Okay,
Any other questions before I make a
go
comment?
right ahead. Go right ahead.
All I want to say is it's glad to see everybody's faces and hear what everybody's got to say. And hopefully everybody's speaking from the heart through the mind and trying to keep it honest and fair. I think that's a very important thing in life, in any facet of life. And I hope you're doing that and rather thinking about the almighty dollar and excluding everything else. That's all I got to say. Good luck to everybody, and let's do it right and keep it fair. That's it. It's shorter than 5 minutes. I'm done. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who has any public comment to make? If not, I will make a motion to go into executive session today to discuss litigation. What we will do is the commissioners will exit from this meeting. You can stay on. We'll have our separate meeting to discuss litigation, and then we will return to adjourn. We will take no action in executive session. But we will return to the open session. So you're welcome to stay on if you'd like, and we will try to get back as soon as possible. Okay? Is there a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes, and we will see everyone in a bit. Thank you.
And we are being recorded. Thank you.
Great. The commissioners held their executive session, and no action was taken at that session. We are now back in open session. Mr. Lasker, is there any further business that needs to come before the board today?
No, there's not, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you so much for your patience. Take care.
Thank you all.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.